Welcome to part 3 of my 3-part series that's probably going to be a 4-part series on bear hunting options that are available to you. And the reason I think it's going to turn into at least a 4-part series is because I've had so many comments and suggestions from people on these videos that there's just more things to cover that I think people are interested in. So this video today, I'm going to talk to you about one specific thing, and that is a spring bear hunt in Canada. And I decided to devote an entire video just to this topic because it is so compelling, I guess you would say. Once you do this, I'm going to warn you, if you haven't done a spring bear hunt with a good outfitter in Canada, it's really addictive, and you really need to do this. Put this on your bucket list if you haven't done this. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what your options are like. And first of all, what I'm talking about here is basically Northwest Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta is where these hunts take place. And there's a lot of features about spring bear hunting that's so appealing. You know, the woods is just starting to come alive for the year, and things are turning green, and the weather's generally pretty good, although you should probably prepare for anything. And the days are long, which is a good thing, but also that means you're going to spend a lot of hours on stand. It also means there's very little nocturnal activity of bears because the nights are very short, and the bears don't have very much to eat, so you're probably going to see a lot of bears. If you're with a good outfitter, you're going to see multiple bears every day, and you're going to have an opportunity to shoot the bear you want. So let's dive into this here and talk about what to expect. In most cases, the Ministry of Natural Resources allocate the tags through the outfitters, and outfitters have registered areas that they hunt in, and they have exclusive rights to those areas. The only variation on that is in Ontario, where the outfitters do have the exclusive areas, but you have to buy a tag over the counter, but you also have to have an outfitter that signs off on your tag. So basically, in any of these 4 provinces, you're going with an outfitter. The season is generally about the middle of May until the middle of June, although some areas the season goes through the end of June, especially in the northern areas of those provinces. Some areas of Alberta allow you to kill 2 bears, which is kind of cool because you can just shoot a bear and get one on the ground, and then you can really hold out for something really special if you're looking for a color phase or like a really big bear or something like that. And this is another opportunity that you'll find in the spring. In these areas, there's a lot of color phase bears, particularly from the middle of Manitoba and west is where the best opportunity to shoot a color phase bear is found. And I've got separate videos on this channel about where to find the biggest bears and where to find the color phase bears, so be sure to watch them also. Fully guided hunts in these situations are generally about $3,000 to $5,000, most of them in that $3,500 to $4,300 range. And in most cases, the tag is included in that price, so be sure you ask that up front so you know for sure. There's a lot of variation in these hunts, in your accommodations. Some of them will be in a really nice lodge. Some of them will just kind of go all out with the meals and you'll have great eating. Others, they don't put as much interest into feeding you, just making sure they get some food in you, I guess. And there's some where you're gonna stay in a remote tent camp, so they're all over the map. So you'll want to spend time on websites and make some calls and ask the questions about what to expect, so you make sure that you get the kind of a hunt that you want. There's a lot of different options, and some of them, they'll take you to your bait by a boat and maybe an ATV or a truck or maybe one of those 6-wheeled Argo utility vehicles. There's just a lot of different things that add to the adventure. There's also many variations on how you're going to get to the place that you're hunting. There's fly-in trips, there's drive-in trips, there's boat-in trips. All of this adds to the adventure, and it can add to the cost to you, so you have to keep that in mind. There's just a lot of variations and so many different options that you have to just decide what sounds good to you and go for it. And also, once you do one kind of a hunt, you might say, oh, I want to try something a little different. I want to do a fly-in hunt, or I want to do a really remote tent camp hunt. You might just decide you want to have really comfortable accommodations, or you might say, hey, I'm going to try one of these tent camp remote hunts where, you know, they set up a shower surrounded by a tarp, and so you can get cleaned up before you go to the stand. Many of these hunts offer fishing as well, and there's a lot of different types of fishing that could be available. It might be northern pike, lake trout, grayling, or whatever. So keep that in mind when you start doing the research on your hunt and what do you want. Keep in mind that most of the hunting is done from mid-afternoon through late in the evening, and some of these northern hunts in June, it doesn't get dark till 10:30, 11 o'clock, so you're sitting a long time on stand, but what are you going to do for the rest of the day? You know, your mornings are open, and I like to choose a hunt where there's some kind of fishing or something else to do rather than just sitting around camp. But maybe you're the kind of person that's just happy to sit around camp and chew the fat with the other hunters there and get to know people better. Those are all your choices. There's so many different options that you have available to you. But these spring bear hunts are just a wonderful adventure. You're going to see a lot of bears if your outfitter's doing his job, and you're going to have an opportunity to shoot the bear you want. So I hope this helps you make your choice, and I'm telling you one more time, it's something that you really need to do because it's just an incredible experience going with a good outfitter and all of the things that go with these spring bear hunts, and you'll find out why they're so popular. And as I said earlier, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get addicted to them, so be careful. We'll see you on the next video.